Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Yalta conference. We are going to review 4 important topics, beginning with the division of Germany. Roosevelt, you have the word. It is clear that in order to have control over the global threat, we as allies need to have control over the German territory as soon as possible.
Gentlemen, it is crucial that we ensure Germany can never threaten world peace again. To do this, we must denazify Germany completely. The Nazi regime must be dismantled and Germany must be incapable of starting another war.
Churchill, you have the word.
United Kingdom proposed that the Soviets and the British divide the Balkans. In a paper that we call the immoral document, outlined the specific proposal.
We also propose to divide the Balkans into Romania, 90% Soviet control, Greece, 90% British control, Bulgaria, 75% Soviet control, Hungary and Yugoslavia, 15% for each of the two, and integrate France into the division.
Stalin, you have the word.
The Soviet Union agrees with the division being necessary in order to make sure that Germany will never again be a problem to the world stability. As for us, the Soviet area of Germany has to provide vital reparations for us. Our union has been devastated, and according to the economists, nearly a quarter of infrastructure has been brought down. These reparations are required for rebuilding our economy, and of course, for paying back the great sacrifice made by the Red Army in the war.
We want compensation from Germany. We want our part with the reconstruction of the URSS. Due to our work, its role in the war. And regarding Churchill's request to give France a piece of German territory, we accept, as long as the territory given to France part of the assignment to United Kingdom.
Regarding the request made by Churchill for France to be graded a portion of German territory, we are in agreement with this proposal under the condition that the territory designed for France comes from the areas already allocated to the United Kingdom.
Churchill, you have the word. We will give you what you want, but in return, we want you to give us the assurance that, in case of future conflicts, we will make an alliance to help us against them. And in addition to that, to let us set up bases on the borders to attack countries from that place. If we attack them, we will give them all our territories.
So, as United Kingdom, we will make another proposal. But there is going to be a condition. We are willing giving you the 75% of Bulgaria, which is exactly in the Middle East of Europe, and also we are willing giving you $5,000 million to the euros, but with the condition of in the future the return of our resources used. And that's our proposal.
Roosevelt, you have the word.
About the participation of the French government, we assume that Great Britain will share a designed part of German territory with France. Nevertheless, we want an equal distribution of the economy for the reconstruction of the post-war of Europe. And we also want to make sure that the affected regions will get aid. Reparations are essential to weaken Germany's war potential, but not too severe as they cripple the German economy completely.
With this, we conclude this topic, and now we move on with the second topic, which is the Eastern Europe dominance. Roosevelt, you have the word.
Eastern Europe is a great concern due to the high influence of the West in that section. Our greatest goal will be to turn Eastern Europe into a democratic zone in order so that population can select their government freely.
Stalin, you have the word.
Before discussing the Eastern Europe dominance, let the Soviet Union explain its vision for the future of those territories. And now that we have defeated German fascism, it's of vital importance for the USSR to secure a vast zone of influence on this region. The Soviet Union will not tolerate any more threats to its national security coming from the West. First of all, Poland must be under its orbit and have a government friendly to Moscow. The Polish people will be able to develop freely, but within the limits that we impose to protect our strategic interests.
Churchill, you have the word.
The United Kingdom supports the idea of Mr. Roosevelt, but does not have the intention to help to achieve it. And regarding the request of the Soviet Union, the communist ideology of this nation will influence the country's form of government.
If you offer the United Kingdom territory in Eastern Europe, it assures that it will not put any base anywhere near the territory and it will be effect on the territory. It will offer them more security and also in case it all advanced technologically, the URSS want their weapons offering the same in return.
The United Kingdom's foremost concern has always been in interests. This principle guided all its actions during the war, even when it conflicted with the other principles such as political freedom.
Stalin, you have the word.
Answering Mr. Churchill regarding the Soviet dominance over Eastern European countries, in addition, the Soviet Union, which already has a certain domination over the territory of Poland, considers that it would be easier to extend that domination to neighboring territories. Therefore, the USSR wants to establish its dominance in the territories of Eastern Europe to guarantee its recovery from the damage caused in the war and by the German yoke. This signs the Soviet Union is a country with the ability to carry out that recovery of the territories of Eastern Europe.
Churchill, you have the word.
We want to ensure that countries liberated from Nazi occupations have the opportunity to establish democratic governments and free themselves from Soviet control.
Stalin, you have the word.
The Soviet Union shares the intention of the United States and the United Kingdom to give the opportunity to the populations of the territories liberated from the Nazi yoke to choose their governments once the war is over. Therefore, once the URSS has control over those territories, a vote will be called for the populations to choose their type of government.
Churchill, you have the word. In Eastern Europe, particularly in countries like Poland, there was a significant challenge. Although we promoted liberal values and the appearance of free choice, the reality was that we took considerable covert and coercive efforts to prevent these nations from choosing communism or socialism. Roosevelt, you have the word.
We recognize the importance of security and stability in those countries. There are some required agreements that the three nations should do. Our priority is to maintain a good alliance with the Soviet Union in order to achieve post-war stability. Therefore, it is a request to Mr. Stalin to ensure Stalin's commitment to the principles of self-determination and democratic election in areas under Soviet military control.
With this, we conclude the second topic and move on to the third.
Roosevelt, you have the word. Our position regarding the Pacific War is clear. The United States requests the Soviet Union to join the war with Japan to support, strengthen, and enhance forces, a fact that will put an end to war and guarantee peace as it is intended with this conference.
Stalin, what is your proposal for Roosevelt?
Stalin, you have the word.
In order for the Soviet Union to consider entering the war against Japan, we need to make sure that our interests are protected. The Soviet Union has not been directly affected by Japanese expansion, so any collaboration requires adequate compensation.
Roosevelt, you have the word.
The entry to the Soviet Union into the war against Japan will provide the United States with crucial support to end the conflict more quickly, reduce the human and material cost. The proposal we offer is the acceleration of the end of the war, refill of military burden, division of Japanese forces, post-war strength, diplomatic pressure, geopolitical balance.
Churchill, you have the word.
also suggest maintain close coordination with your American comrades to make the most of your resource and strategically plan the final offensive that ends this war in the Pacific in the most forceful and decisive way possible. To the British people have suffered too much already, and we will spare to effort to end this fight.
Stalin, you have the word.
President Roosevelt, we understand your arguments, but as we said before, the Soviet Union wants some compensation for the help of the United States and the Pacific War. The Soviet Union demands the Sakhalin Islands, the Kuriles Islands, the Port Arthur and Iron Territories, as well as the Manchuria Railroad, as payment of the help for the United States.
Roosevelt, you have the word.
Some territories that you are asking for does not belong to us. Nevertheless, we can do everything on our power to negotiate, so that we have a clear support of the Soviet Union.
Stalin, you have the word.
Those regions that we have mentioned should be recognized as part of the Soviet territory once the war is over.
Roosevelt, you have the word.
In addition, it is important to state that in case Soviet Union supports the United States, it will provide the country with military support as well as a source to put pressure on Germany from the east.
Stalin, you have the word.
Well, the Soviet Union accepts the territories offered by the United States. Therefore, the Soviet Union will enter the Pacific War against Japan in order to support this country and the defeat of Japan.
We have concluded the Pacific War topic. The last topic that we are going to talk about is an international organism, the United Nations. Roosevelt, you have the word. The United Nations is a priority. This organization aims to prevent future conflicts. Therefore, the first objective is to create a document that must be signed in order to ensure that participants will do everything in their power to prevent future warlike conflicts. Stalin, you have the word.
Responding to the United States, why do you want to create an organization if you have already failed with the League of Nations? Because
Churchill, you have the word.
Well, representing the United Kingdom, we support the creation of a new international organization that brings together all countries that share these high ideals. A union of nations, if we may use the expression, where each member, large or small, has a say in matters that affect global peace and security.
My view on the United Nations and my role is maintaining international peace has become more evident after war. We emphasized the importance of unity and cooperation among nations and support your proposals.
Roosevelt, you have the word.
For this reason, we need to sign a paper to be able to ensure a trust between us and try to avoid future wars. Without this organization, war is practically inevitable.
Stalin, you have the word.
All right, it's fine if you want to continue with the creation of this program by using that paper. In terms of the creation of the United Nations organization, the Soviet Union wants you to guarantee us that we aren't going to have an active participation on it. The way you're going to guarantee this is by adding the 16th Soviet Socialist Republic within the international organization. This will generate unanimity among the great powers.
Roosevelt, you have the word.
If you join, of course that it will have benefits. We will provide you with political, financial, and political support. And all the countries of the Soviet Union will be able to be part of this. By joining the United Nations, our ties will be strengthened and we will be able to achieve a better world. This organization will help us resolve difference in a peaceful way.
Stalin, you have the word.
The Soviet Union accepts the creation of the United Nations as a lone of power veto is warranted to the major powers, since the conference is made so that we who are the ones who promote peace after the Second World War ensure international stability.
Okay. Roosevelt, you have the word.
This could hinder the UN's ability to make decisions and address urgent issues. So to ensure peace between countries, the system within the organization should be inclusive with all the member nations.
Churchill, you have the word.
We want all United Nations to actively participate, and that is why we support Rosenberg's idea that the veto power should not exist.
Stalin, you have the word.
It's okay. We are agree with the creation of the United Nations, although it is not guaranteed that the veto power exists as long as our 16 Soviet Socialist republics have a participation in this organization.
We have closed this conference. In conclusion, there is a clear agreement of the three nations to divide Germany into all the Allied countries and France, so that the denazification can be done as soon as possible, and the reconstruction of the country can be achieved. Talking about Eastern Europe, the Soviet Union agreed with the United States in order to reinstate democracy in their territories, so that once the war is ended, citizens among the Soviet Union territories will be able to select their governments in a democratic way. As an agreement for the Pacific War, the Soviet Union agreed to participate with the United States, with a condition that the territories of Sakhalin Island, Kurils Island, Port Arthur, Manchuria Railroad, and Dairen will be handed over to them. As the United States doesn't possess all of these territories, they will make everything in their power to obtain them and hand them over to the Soviet Union. Regarding the International Peace Organism, the United Nations, there will be an agreement called the Immoral Document, in which all the participant nations must sign. The proposal of the Soviet Union of the veto of power for major powers was declined. Therefore, all nations will have the same voice and vote within the decisions made by the organization.